Hello everybody and welcome to the second round of the Parallel IndyCar series presented by the ASRA and the Rain Race podcast. This round we will be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but not the oval. We are going to be at the road course. The right turns and the left turns, they challenge these drivers. Pit strategy is going to be very important here. If everything goes all green, you will need to make at least 2 stops. The starting grid is Andrew Das Racing on pole, Mr. Dale Jr. 2012 in second place, and the Forza rookie in third. We take you live to the race right now. As they all line up 2 by 2 when there's already some confusion. But now the green flag is out. Green, green, green. Everybody takes off from the line as we are going to be on board of the second place driver, the Forza rookie, as everybody funnels down into T1. Everybody gets through straight. The number 9 into the back of the 61. But no big issues there. Everybody sorting through it nice and easy, and the 26 spins, almost collects a 98. Remember, that is not going to be called as an incident. That is a spin all by himself. That is driver error, and that is not going to be counted towards the tally. Everybody lines up nice and clean. Already sorting out through the orders. It's going to be a little bit of a long one, 45 laps. If it goes full green, it's going to be 2 stops, most likely 1. The tire degradation is going to be high today. We saw how quickly the reds fell off inside practice session, and we may as well see it inside the race as drivers continue to push the limits. The 98 sticking 2 tires inside the grass as we watch the 61 closing in on that car coming down the front straightaway. They're also going to have to conserve the push to pass, only 10 uses for the entire 45 lap race. And it looks like there's a cone stuck possibly on the 98 car. Yes, indeed, that cone just sliding off the front end and hitting the next cone as the 61 comes through, and the 9 looks to be taking a position as well. The 9 car going on the inside of the 98. A lot of action already inside this first couple of laps, inside the opening laps of the IndyCar GP, and the 98 goes for a block there, but the 9 car is on the inside, has the inside line advantage. Everything keeps all on well. In all honesty, I swear the 9 was going to spin out, but he kept it straight, keeping it on the go, certainly proving why he is the better driver inside that stable. Taking over the 9 car from Cooler Nation 9 is now the Onyx Ace inside this car for race 2 and possibly the rest of the season. Right now, certainly proving why he is so good, and he is on the hunt. Andrew Das Racing, the second place finisher in the previous race, currently in P1. Then it's P2 by Kill Switch. P3 is the Ace Onyx, and with the Forza rookie, with Mr. Dale Jr. 2012. And strangely enough, you have AS15 Motorsport spinning out all by himself in the back. That's gonna kill his time by a lot. Remember, that's not gonna be even counted as an incident. That's complete driver error, and that is not gonna hinder anybody up at the front. All the drivers who can keep it nice and tidy and nice and clean. Right now we're gonna open up the track map to see everything that's going on the field. We still have a car all the way back, and something is terribly wrong with the 12 car, it seems. And he is retired to the pit box for some apparent reason. I don't know what's the cause of that. But while that is happening, we have all of the drivers inside the top 3 just fighting it out. and he has disconnected. That could possibly be lag. The servers have been pretty laggy. We have not been able to get on Rail Fanatic 15 just because of that, and maybe that's bleeding over into a much bigger issue. The party is definitely quieted down some as you take a look at all of the top 4, all within the eye shot of the camera. You're doing a great job sticking to the lead. Remember, the tire wear is going to be super, so that 18 car doesn't want to pull off too far ahead, because that's going to hurt him later on down when he needs to come in for some tires, when he needs to put some new block stuff on the car. But the battle from second on back looks to be very exciting. And Mr. Dale Jr. 2012 already closing in on the field quite a bit as all of the cars funnel down the front straight. And the number 9 tries to make a move, but the 61 holds him off. They're going left to right to left to right. And what a fantastic battle here as we see these two drivers put it on the absolute limit. The Onyx Ace now in second place, but the 61 car is looking to make another move down the inside. This is fantastic stuff here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. These corners really lend for this type of action. Drivers just switching sides, trying to find the best way to get momentum, and the 61 slides wide and lets the 9 by. As we're going to take a look at the back and see the 26 car coming into frame, closing in on this pack of drivers. It looks like the 61 is coming down for an early pit stop. Perhaps he's going to be playing into his strategy. Coming out for the tires. I'm going to go back out to the main drivers. Right now, funneling down the front straightaway. The 18 leads by about 1 second over the Onyx Ace, but that 9 car is certainly on the challenge. He has certainly been up to speed, starting outside of the top 3, right now inside second position. He is slowly pulling in that leader, Andrew Das Racing, especially in the brake zone. He looks to be so much more aggressive through airs, but time will tell the tale, because this is a long race, relatively long race, and the tires are wearing quite heavily. It's going to be exciting seeing him chase down that 18 car, and the 18 goes wide, does not hit the apex properly, and the 9 car takes full advantage. It is DK Motorsports up front at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. In second position is the 18 car of Andrew Das Racing, and all the way in the back of the field we can see the 26 car of Mr. Dale Jr. 2012 making his way past the Forza rookie. Actually not. He's going to lift there. Going to be a little bit more cautious here. 26 car being one of the fastest at every racetrack we go to, no matter what league we're in. But certainly in the IndyCar series, we can see that from the Indy 250 and from the Long Beach race, that he has the speed, but right now he needs to focus on that consistency as he slides back off into the grass and loses a lot of time, and spinning again. That's not going to help him at all. I have some of the comms open, slightly open, and I can hear him getting adamantly upset. And Killswitch coming out of the pits inside 5th position. He's on a alternate strategy from the rest of the field. And look at Andrew Das Racing already falling 2 seconds back behind the Onyx Ace. In 3rd position is the Forza rookie, and inside the back of that shot is the 26 car of Mr. Dale Jr. 2012. Live pictures here in Indianapolis, the IndyCar Grand Prix. the Onyx Ace is now stretching his lead by about 5 seconds, trying to push it up to 6 from the Forza Rookie, and Andrew Das Racing has fallen back quite some bit. He has fallen back all the way to 3rd from the lead. The pole sitter setting a blistering lap in the 110s. Mr. Dale Jr. 2012 coming to the pits. He's going to make his pit stop. And I'm listening to some of the driver comms here, and there's some commotion about something about penalties. Penalties should be off by nature in order to make the races easier to officiate, but it seems like he has contacted some sort which is out of the norm. Most likely, I don't think that's an actual issue here. It shouldn't be, as Kill Switch in the 61 car moves on to 4th position. The field, they've certainly gapped. They're certainly going apart here. Definitely playing some different strategies right now. Nobody really close to each other. We're inside sort of that calming period. There's been no real incidents. We have no real reason for cautions. There hasn't been any heavy impacts with any cars or with the barriers. Or as far as I know, there isn't. So everything looks to be A-OK. As I think the 26 car is a lap down. It's appropriate time to switch on to the board and look at the timings. And right now everybody is on lap 10 except Kill Switch and Mr. Dale Jr. 2012. Right now the lapping times, the best lap of the race by the Onyx Ace, 112.381, 2 seconds off of the qualifying speed. He's gonna have a little bit more fuel inside that car, so that's definitely an effect on it. Clear track ahead, speedometer. We can look throughout all of these cars and see how much fuel they have in. 34 liters for the leader, 5.5 for the Forza Rookie. He needs to go to the pits either this lap or the lap immediately after that to make sure that he doesn't run out. Andrew Das Racing, 37 liters. Kill Switch right now has a full tank because he just came off of that pit stop. And Mr. Dale Jr. also has pretty much a full tank of Speedway fuel. Everybody getting set to go. As at the long run here, the gaps have increased by quite a bit. The closest battle is between 2nd and 3rd position. Strategy playing out for everybody. Will the strategy play out for Kill Switch though? Right now he's running all off in 4th. That's going to be really good for him because he doesn't have to worry about anybody behind him or anybody ahead. He can just focus on himself. Pitting early, maybe that's going to help him. Pitting away from all the other cars, giving him some of that clean track just to focus and hit fast laps after fast laps. And as we predicted, the Forza Rookie into the pits for a pit stop. And Mr. Dale Jr. 2012 has left the session. Strangely enough, that makes it 3 people who have somehow left the session in one way or another. We do not know if that is from lag, but we can certainly try and find out as we are in the rough part of the race where the strategies are definitely playing out. Once again, back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're on about it looks like, let's bring up the overview. We're on lap 16 out of 45. Right now, all the cars inside their own strategies. There's been no incidents. There's been a fairly green race, really a completely green race, aside from a couple spins and people leaving the session. We can confirm that Mr. Dale Jr. quit. He did not lag out, he just quitted. So that makes several different lag outs and one quit from the session. Right now, still inside the lead is the Onyx Ace inside the 9 car, stretching his lead to about 18 seconds, which is very impressive, seeing that all of these cars are at the same spec. Well, they have different setups on, and that's going to make a big difference. The closest to him is that 18 car, and then we have Kill Switch in the 61 car, definitely on the off strategy. But by now, I think once the 9 car comes in the pit, everything's gonna be put back in the relative order that it should be. I don't think that the 18 car has pitted either, so everything stays the same. It's gonna be a struggle for the Forza rookie to get his lap back. Consistency really pays off. This is like the actual IndyCar Grand Prix, where we have a really long set of green flag laps, and some of the field rather gets spaced out quite a bit. We're gonna look at some of the driver messages. Rail Fanatic 15 lagging out, not being able to join in after multiple attempts to try and get him in. But the game certainly proving to be the problem with us. Go through the order, everything is nice and tidy. We're going to talk more about stuff that we're doing with the ASRA. Next week, Wednesday, we're going to have the qualifying for the Indy 250. It's going to be a standoff event, and we're going to offer points to the top 5. Points have not yet been decided. It's not yet been decided how many points are going to go to each individual driver, but most likely it's going to be 6 for the pole sitter as the 98 goes off, and I think that should in all well count for an incident. If the driver doesn't want to count it as an incident, it's fine with him. He doesn't have to. Right, but moving back on into our conversation, it's going to be 6 for the lead, the pole sitter, 4th for second position, 4 points for second position rather, 3 for third, 4th gets 2 points, and 5th gets 1 point. That's going to be very important. We're going to do 4 lap runs and the fastest lap. That's also going to be broadcasted here, full 2 hours. We're going to have a highlight reel of all that. That's going to come out right before the Indianapolis 250. It's the month of May, and everybody is going Indy 500 crazy. And we're going to have another Indy 250. That's right, 2 Indy 250s in 1 year. The first one actually was scheduled to be around this time, but in order to go with supply and demand, we held one early in March 3rd, and now we're going to hold another one inside May, 2 weeks from now. I want to stay before the Indy 500. And now we're looking through the field, and we're seeing all of the cars come by. We should ride on board of some of these drivers. While we're at it, we're going to go on board of Andrews Racing. And we're going to go to the cockpit cam. The cam that we don't really see too much in real life or inside the game. Many people like to use the roof cam because, in all honesty, it's a much easier and simpler camera. It doesn't move around too much. It's nice and steady. and it just works. Everybody getting through the corners nice and easy as we can look on the dash, going up to 100 and looks like almost 160 before it goes back down through this little chute, and it's gonna come speeding up through the gears for the longest straight on the racetrack, pulling up to speed through the gears. Even though on the wheel it says it's still on first gear, we're much higher than that. 184 before dipping in to the braking zone. Nice and steady. You can't see tire wear at all, so that's not gonna have any impact on what we're doing here inside the control center, sort of. But right now we can't see any of that information. Let's move on, and it looks like, yes, that's right, the Onyx Ace has come down for his pit stop, so that moves Andrew Dash Racing to the lead by about, looks like 20 or so seconds. I believe the pit stop time, if that is correct, should be around 35-40 seconds if I'm correct. The Onyx Ace was about 20 seconds ahead of the 18 car. He went down to the pits and now he's 20 seconds behind, so that comes out all around the same. We cannot trust the images that we see. We see red tires on the car, but seeing that we have already had multiple people lag out and a lot of glitchiness happening tonight, those tires aren't really representative of what's actually on the car. It may show the red tires or it may show the black tires, but only the driver who's driving it truly knows which one it is because of how buggy the game is online. And that is the real reason why inside the series, even though it parallels the IndyCar series, it doesn't follow the tire rule, mainly because there's no way to proper officiate it. We can give the drivers word of mouth, but that's definitely going to leave the door a little too wide open for people to make an advantage unfairly on somebody else. Looks like the Onyx Ace is back into the lead, 15 seconds ahead of Kill Switch, and it looks like he went to the pits and things went back right into order. I think Kill Switch, out of these four, honestly has the best chance of catching the Onyx Ace. The Onyx Ace is doing a fantastic job right now, extending that lead slowly by slowly, lap after lap. And look at the field. Everybody is, the top three is all within about a 22-second scope. We're gonna bring back up the track map so you can see where everybody is. And there you have it. Things are definitely spaced out quite a bit. There's no lie about that. It's mainly, I could say mainly due to the fact that we are running on a reduced field because of technical issues and people not being able to make the commitment. I'd say mostly technical issues. We were promised 8 cars tonight, but that has been slashed in half, and now we're just gonna take what we can get. We have an exciting race here, and the strategies are gonna be playing out. Not a crazy epic race with many crashes, many restarts and whatnot, but this is a real racer's race where we see drivers duke it out, whoever's the fastest, whoever has the fastest pit crew, even though believably everybody's pit crew is the same. Whoever has the best pit strategy, whoever manages the tires best. These are one of those races where it may, in all fairness, be much funner for the racing driver himself, which I think we should give them that benefit. They put in the effort, they've put in the work, and right now it looks like they are past the halfway mark about 20. Okay, that's actually not correct. About 20 or so laps ago, a little over that, and the Onyx Ace is leading convincingly. We've had no incident today. Everybody is nice and tidy. Everything is nice and clean. And this is going to be a real tight fight for the championship, as we can see. If we look back through the order of previous races, and we look at the finishing order of Long Beach, the top four was Killswitch winning the race, Andrew Das Racing in second, and then the Onyx Ace was in fourth position, and the Forza Rookie was in fifth. And so, as it stands, if we do the calculations correctly, if Andrew finishes in that position, we're gonna need somebody else. Pardon me. We're gonna need somebody else doing the proper calculations on this to make sure this is right. But we could go away from today's race with the Onyx Ace on the top of the championship standings, which will be fantastic. Especially fantastic for that car after that 9 car has been caught up in so many different incidents. It could be the new points leader, carrying over the points from the 21 car. It is going to be allowed because there is no difference in the cars. In other series, when you switch the car, you normally switch manufacturers and you switch the type of car completely. So in those, like the World GT Challenge, switching cars means that you will lose all the points that you earned with the previous one. The points stick with that car, but in here it is allowed because basically it's all just liveries. The Onyx Ace taking over the 9 car for Samsung DK Motorsports, doing a good job in the lead. Killswitch coming out of the pits. This most likely is going to be his last stop. And like I said, if everything went off green, like we said at the beginning, this could turn out to be an incredible race on fuel. Right, this can be crucial for everybody inside the closing laps. If you look through some of the drivers, I think right now Killswitch, most likely, I think easily he can make it to the end. He can easily make it to the end. The Forza Rookie, possibly. Everybody else looks like they're around in the same fuel window. Possibly turning the switch back a little bit, not running at full rich, running just less fuel. Right now the least amount of fuel is the leader with 51 liters inside his car. Everything panning out. Gaps have increased even more, with everybody going completely different from each other. All 4 cars, none of them really coming in on the same lap for fuel or tires. We have no data on the tires right now, but everything seems to be all fit here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And the 9 car coming up to lap the 61. That's going to be huge. If he can do that, that puts the 3rd place car a lap down, basically lapping half the field. That can mainly be due to the fact that Killswitch is running an off strategy. Possibly his mistake by pitting twice. Or maybe that could lead to his victory. We'll just have to wait. It seems like he is keeping the gap straight. They're lapping in 1:12s. As you see here, the last lap was 1:14, so he is minute behind the leader. So about right now on the track itself, he is 14 seconds ahead of the Ace Onyx when it comes to on the track. And in a little sense, Adidas Racing 26 seconds back, and the Forza rookie in 4th place, doing a great job. If all goes as straight, so we could see 2 different race winners in the first 2 races, which will be fantastic for the parallel IndyCar series, as we have lots of background noise interrupting us. The Onyx Ace continuing to grow that gap and extending his lead even more over the rest of the field. Kill switch falling behind by 1 second, on track right now, 13 seconds ahead of the leader. He's going to have to pick up that pace if he doesn't want to get lapped. In all seriousness, that shouldn't be a problem if he's playing the fuel strategy and the race goes caution free. And if the race does have a caution, he's going to get that lap back anyways. So I think in all seriousness, this right now doesn't affect anybody at all, because everybody would have that will be back on a level playing field. And the person it would impact the most is the number 9 car, who is continuing to barge forward with lap 31 of 45. Everything all said. Strategy playing out. We're going to look back onto the speedometer to see how much fuel everybody has. Kill switch has 50, possibly the most. Forza rookie has 38. Andreas Racing has 41. And the Onyx race has 37. Is that the least? Yes, that is the least out of everybody. We can also see the push to pass. The Onyx Ace having 5 push to passes left. Andreas Racing with a full 10 push to passes left. Is he saving those for the end of the race? Who knows? We have 6 push to passes left for kill switch. And for the Forza rookie, we have 8 left. So the leader, expectingly, has the least amount of push to pass, making sure to extend that. And in all seriousness, if he extends that lead by about 40 seconds or more, he can pit and not get passed by the 2nd place car of Andreas Racing. And that can be huge, especially if this race comes down to fuel mileage. So Andreas Racing, he has to, in a sort, keep that pressure on the number 9 car in order to not guarantee him that pit stop. Right now it's going to take the Onyx Ace quite a lot to pick that up, because right now he needs about 40. Well, actually it's not that much. He needs about 12 seconds, maybe a little more, perhaps 15 or 16 more, in order to get to the end. But one little mistake by Andreas Racing, and that could definitely put his chance for a win at stake. Interesting to see the different strategies here for everybody outside the field. Some playing it safe, some playing it on difference. I think as of right now, the drivers in 1st and 2nd are all playing it on the same strategy. And the closest 2 cars to the track right now is still the Ace Onyx and Kill Switch. And they're running just about the same lap times, because for the last 10 or so laps, or whenever since Kill Switch came out of the pits, he has been a consistent bouncing around the 1 minute mark behind the leader. And right now, I don't think that's going to guarantee him the win unless the leaders run out of fuel. Because the pit stops are around 40 or so seconds. Don't believe me if that's wrong. And kill switch right now is a whole minute ahead. Well, rather, he's a whole minute behind the Onyx Ace. So if the Onyx Ace pits, he can still come out ahead. Unless something dramatic happens and he misses the pit exit. Will that 30 liters of fuel last? He lasts 11 laps here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. We have yet to find out as we are shuffling back and forth with all the telemetry up on the screen right now. This is a very technical, very driver-centric, strategy-centric race right now, playing out for everybody, just as the IndyCar Grand Prix normally is. This is where they're going to be working out the best to do on strategy. This is a real strategy race. It's not a point and gun race. It's not a crash heavy race. The track is flat. There's not much mistake prone corners. There's several corners where you can make a mistake. I mean, you know, true that you can make a mistake anywhere on the racetrack, but there's no real mistake prone corners here. You have a nice and flat corner. The most mistake prone corner you could get to is a little chicane on the end there, and that's only if your car is very loose, which these drivers, their cars probably are very much in tune. As we look to the second place, and the Onyx Ace has opened that lead by some 30 seconds. He is trying to further extend that so he can get basically a free pit stop in the bank. Possibly doesn't even need to take that free pit stop, but that's going to be very useful if this comes down to low fuel. And right now he is on 25 liters and he is slowing down a bit. It's the first time since Killswitch came out of the pits where he has been below the 1 minute mark for a consistent amount of time. The Onyx Ace has now been extending that lead to around 32 seconds ahead of Andrew Dash Racing. We're coming in. We're in the final set of laps here. We've gone full green the entire length of the race, and the strategies are going to be heavy. Forza Rookie pretty much out of it. Killswitch pretty much on a fluke right now. Not going to be able to double and get 2 wins in a row. It's pretty much going to be down to these as the 18 car cuts through the course. He's going to have to give up some time if he wants to continue doing that. As everybody still going at the normal pace. And that's gonna give the leader of the Onyx Ace even more time in the bank, so that even if he has to come down the pit road to get a splash, he's gonna have some time in the bank. And if Andrew Dash Racing makes another mistake, that's basically gonna kill his chances of winning. Look on board of fuels, 20 liters, the number 9 car, 24 for the 18. Killswitch has 28. Killswitch definitely using up a lot more of his fuel. He is now almost level, and the Force Rookie at 19. He has eaten up way more of his fuel. The push to pass looks about the same. Nobody really using theirs. Everything being just as much steady. Very fuel mileage centric race. The Ace Onyx now stretching his lead to about 38 seconds as he comes up on some pesky lap traffic It's going to affect his dirty air some, but that's going to help him down the straightaway, get that good, nice slipstream down this long straightaway. Not as long as it is on the Formula 1 layout of the circuit, but still pretty long, as we have some of the cameras malfunctioning. Pretty much summarizes the event for a lot of people. Just a lot of malfunctioning issues, a lot of technical issues, us having to restart the race multiple times, starting late, and all of that. You probably don't even see that. That's all been edited out, and the Onyx Ace now has a full 40 seconds over the 18 car, further stretching that lead. He can come down if he needs to for that nice fuel, and most likely, it looks right now, most likely, I think almost everybody needs to come down for fuel. The kill switch has killed off so much of his fuel trying to stay on the lead lap that he's not, I don't think he's gonna even make it. The Onyx Ace, we're gonna look at the times, and they're all lapping quite a bit slower. Andrew That's Racing last lap was a 1:18. The Onyx Ace setting a 1:17. Is he pulling off for the fuel? As you look at the fuel liters in the tank, if he is not planning on stopping, it's going to be a close one. It's going to be a close one here. Our calculations were about 42 laps on the fuel. Definitely there's going to be some differences. Obviously going down pit road, you use less fuel. Definitely driving the car different, you use less fuel. Lifting, coasting, dropping off the pace quite a bit. So on green, you're going to have to make up 40. You're gonna have to make up about 3 laps or more on fuel, especially counting in the pace lap where you sort everybody out. And this is going to be really interesting, as the Onyx Ace is on currently one of the lowest fuel tanks, and the 98 car comes down into pit road for his final stop, putting enough fuel in there for the end. Well out of contention, but still running. We have to commend him for keeping in the race and not rage quitting like some of our other drivers, staying in it for the long haul. We have to give him his commendation as it is deserved. Lap 41 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The lead further stretching. 10 liters of fuel in that car. I do not think that car is going to make it to the end. I don't think that. Andreas Racing has 5.5 more liters in his car. I don't think that 9 car is going to make it on the fuel. That is going to be super tight. And I don't think Killswitch now has less fuel. Well, actually, I'm wrong about that. He is now almost as much fuel as Andrew That's Racing, and the number 9 comes in for a pit stop. Oh, this is gonna be super close. You can see on the track map on the right, as all the cars come around, they're gonna have to beat him coming out the pits. Taking a change of tires as well, that's gonna help him a lot. We didn't even talk that much about the tire degradation in this. We can tell which tires they're using. Most likely he's put on a set of reds as he goes down that super duper long straightaway. And I think he's gonna be able to make it out. 18 liters of fuel, enough to make it to the end. The gap now at 23 seconds. Is the Onyx Ace out of the pit road? Yes, he is. He funnels into turn 1 And if all things goes as they should, he could win this race. If everything goes as planned. I don't want to commentate or curse anybody. That's why I say possibly. If everything goes as planned. We have Andrew that's racing. Possibly dropping well off the pace to make sure he makes to the end. And kill switch. About in the same fuel window. Just as much fuel as Andrew that's racing. It's really interesting. He ate up all of that trying to make his way back. And you can see right now the gap, so it's definitely gotten close right back up 7 seconds back from the leader. It's the 18 car. We're going to look at the timings. And we're going to wait about 2 laps to see what kind of pace the Ace Onyx is setting coming off of that pit stop. He does have 5 push to pass left. I don't know if that is actually true or not, if that's actually synced with us. Right now, he has enough fuel in the tank to make it to the end. Lap 43. Right now, this battle can actually come down for second position. 10 seconds back from the 18 car is the 61. Right now, they're both on the same amount of fuel. And strangely enough, if they run out of fuel, and if there's enough time left in the race, the Forza rookie could sneak in and grab a podium. That would be incredible if he is able to do that. Everybody getting nice and set. Lap 43. 8.4 liters left to go. Most likely that has 2 laps or less. Is he going to come down for a pit stop? Possibly not. No, he is not. What about kill switch? 6.6 liters left to go. That's cutting it super close. And he is in. He's still possibly guaranteed in that podium position because of how far the Forza rookie is back. But if Andrew is unable to make it to the end, that's going to play very well for the 61 car, and he could come in here and sneak away a second place. That could be really epic if he could do that, playing a completely different role. And right now I think you need about 6 liters, I think it is, to go completely to the end. Remember, kill switch also has a full tank of fuel. Well, not a full tank of fuel, but he has a lot more fuel than that 18 car. And that 18 car is moving around super slowly, just trying to make it to the end. You can see how slow he is by how much the 98 car is slowing down for him as we go to the Onyx Ace. Right now coming to the last lap. Lap 45. And the rest of the cars have still not yet made it there. Andrew that's racing slowly working his way around the track. And we have to give kill switch commendation for at least trying that. I think in all honesty that would have worked if kill switch came in a couple laps earlier. If he came in around like a lap 39 or so and started to push really hard, use up all his push to pass, that certainly could have been super beneficial for him, and he could have gotten past the 18 car. That strategy could have worked if he had done it earlier inside the stint. Andrew that's racing 4.9 liters, holding on. Most likely he's gonna make it to the end. And as we come around the final corner, the number 9 car for DK Motorsports, the Onyx Ace, is going to take the win at the IndyCar Grand Prix. Well done, moving his way throughout the field, going into the lead and taking control of this race commandingly, opening up enough to get opening up enough of a gap to get a free pit stop as they go on board of the 18th car, and most likely he's going to make it all the way to the end without no problems at all. P2 in the second race, that is 2 second place finishes for the 18 car. So that completes today's original programming for DK Motorsports TV. The finishing results are as follows: the Onyx Ace taking the win, followed by Andrew Das Racing, Killswitch 970, the Forza Rookie, Mr. Dale Jr. 2012, AS15 Motorsports, and our two bottom finishers suffering some connection issues and some interferences, Rail Fanatic 15, and unofficially not shown on this board is Pure Blitzen. The point standing after this race now sees the top 3 in championship only separated by 3 points, with Killswitch on the top of that board, the Onyx Ace and Andrew Das Racing. It's also tight in the midfield between AS15 Motorsports, the Forza Rookie, and Mr. Dale Jr. 2012. Some of the big runners back down inside the field like Rail Fanatic 15. There's still lot more races to go inside the season for them to claw back that deficit. Thank you all for watching today's race. I hope to see you guys inside the next one, which most likely is the Indy 250.